This is Philosophy versus Improv, where two sages try to teach each other a thing or two, and maybe you, the audience, get something out of it as well. Hey, it's Philosophy versus Improv. This is Mark Lintonmeyer gliding in from the heavens with giant spoonfuls of philosophy for you today.
And this is Bill Arnett, burrowing up from the crust with a hobo's bindle of improv for y'all.
We have two guests, one of whom I've spoken with many times. Daniel Lobell, say hello to the folks.
How's it going, folks?
And an even more special guest, even more special,
Yes.
your partner on the We Think It's Funny. We Think It's Punny. That would be a different, a much worse, an all puns podcast. We Think It's Funny podcast. Carson resident, star of stage and screen, Mark Schiff. Hello.
Oh, there. Well, guys, nice to see you.
Yeah.
I ask you, is behind you, is that your dirty laundry I'm looking at?
Folks that merely listen to this,
What's on
don't
top
watch the video on YouTube will not see the amazing background that I downloaded 5 seconds before we went on air here. I was looking for comedy club backgrounds, and almost all the comedy club backgrounds have a picture of a mic in the middle, which is, I understand is representative of a comedy club.
Also a foreground.
But the mic, I have a mic already.
Yeah.
I don't need a mic behind my head. What?
What's also funny about Bill's mic is because of the perspective. It looks like he's talking into like a massive piece of old NASA equipment.
Yeah, look at that thing there, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, I feel like,
Oh, was that me? Was that a dig on me? Are we ready to hit your? You got your vinyls back there. I see.
I have 600 comedy albums. Most of the comedians here, most people have never heard of and never will hear of them. Most of these albums are just absolutely
That's why I'm proud to be in there.
Yeah.
most of these albums are absolutely terrible.
did you release
You ever hear
yours,
these guys?
Daniel, on vinyl?
You ever hear these guys?
The
No.
Last Family. No.
Nobody has. Nobody has.
What year is that? 60?
Judging by the okay, I've certainly heard of
Wow,
that.
the record
Okay.
for Who's on First. How late in their career did they release that, or was that like
Oh,
is
no,
that a
they just-
1945
here,
LP?
Another comedy one you've never heard of.
The first Cuban at the UN. I'm reading for the audio people.
Yeah, so
no.
So I bought this collection, and it's a huge collection of comic. Although there's a guy named Jeff Abraham, you know Jeff.
I know, Jeff. He's got an even bigger collection.
He's got like 6,000 comedy albums, something insane. I thought I had a lot, 600. This guy's got like 6,000 that are unlistenable.
I mean, are they listenable to you? You have a fresh
I
turntable
had
that you can.
two, I was going to say Victrolas, but turntables here in the office. And but most of them you can't get through. They're just comedy albums are so cheap to make. It wasn't like a band, where instruments are. A guy would go into the studio, or a gal would go into the studio and talk into a microphone. They have a little crowd out there, or they record live at a theater somewhere.
Or some of them had no crowd, like the Jonathan Winters album and the Buddy Hackett Chinese Waiter album.
Buddy Hackett, an album with no laughter on it, just
Right.
talking.
So just podcasting. The Jonathan Winters
Yeah.
podcast.
Podcasts
Yeah.
on vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before podcasts, there were comedy albums, I guess, or some comedy albums.
Yeah.
Well, you need to catalog them, listen to them, put some reviews up.
It's a good point.
It's not a bad idea. We should play one of them on the show every now and then on We Think It's Funny.
Well, we should play one bit and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like of these unknown albums. That's
We'll
not
do
a
that.
bad
There's a
idea.
highlight in there. Yeah, yeah.
I knew you guys had wrote something.
We think it's discussion worthy, I think would be the segment. I mean,
Yes.
unless you're actually picking things that you find funny, but it seems like the most interesting things would be, as you're saying, the ones that are, how did this get made? Why does this even exist?
Nothing is funnier to comedians than unfunny comedians. Right?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
We think it's funny in quotes. Is that the actual name of the podcast? Did you put it?
In quotes, yeah. Well, stuff can get dated as well. I mean, certainly even good humor can be referential. If it, good political humor is dated immediately almost. So it's tricky in that regard.
Yeah.
I can also imagine, what's the record company model here? Just as you said, they can just crap those things out. They got the equipment, they got the studio, they got the engineer. He's there for the day. May as well bring in some people. Yeah.
Wow.
So I
Is
think
That was the show.
But-
Well, thank you very much.
So I think
guys.
I know from talking to Daniel before that there's a sharp division between, of course, the stage thing that is rehearsed and you have to be funny, and podcasting where there's just as many, there's more people, they're listening to a comedy podcast, but yet you're not putting on a show in the same way for them. Do you think is the "we think it's funny" referring to the subject matter of the show, comedy, or is it referring to the show itself?
It's a good question, but let me tell you, with comedians, do you guys do stand up?
No,
And that doesn't stand up. Yeah.
I'm a musician, so I fake stand up between songs, but I don't actually have to be funny. It's optional when you're a musician.
See if Danny agrees or doesn't agree, but even though the podcast school, we think it's funny, even though it's a podcast, it's not a live audience per se. When I'm onto something that I think is funny, I will perform it as if there's an audience in front of me.
Sure.
And I'll go for it. In a very performing way, right?
Oh yeah.
And then if we have a guest and Danny starts laughing, I up the ante with the performance. So yes, we do perform it for whoever is eventually going to see it, and I think it makes it better.
Yeah, I don't see anything to disagree with there. I think Mark's, we have both come up with things on the podcast that we've taken to the stage,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When the brain is firing in comedy mode, you get stuff, it's not going to be as polished as when you see it performed at the club, because that's worked out and cleaned up. And
I mean, like when we had Brian Regan on, who's arguably one of the great comedians of this era, he was so funny that he brought out the best in us, and it was a show. There was, a real comedy show going on.
Yeah.
And he was killing me because we became his audience, and I was doubled over with laughter. And then we got into a thing once about, I sold Danny some Talmud, some Jewish books. He's laughing already. And we just found this thing so funny that we could not stop laughing, and our guests just joined in. And then I just got an email the other day from a guy that heard it, and he said he wants to buy the books off of Danny.
I told him double what I paid.
So yeah, it's entertainment. You guys are entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting thing is that, so much of comedy and stand up, you think about, we got to write a script, we got to prepare, we got to work it, got to workshop this thing. Yet in the moment, it is live, and you don't know what the audience is going to latch onto, what they're not going to latch onto, and you can't just robotically go down your list and hit all your things and giggle and snort when you planned it. And I think some of the best comedians are the ones who are alive in the moment as well. They certainly know their material, they certainly have it rehearsed, they certainly know when all the little cues are and what has worked in the past, but they're reading the audience, reading the room, and alive in the moment. And just as you all described it, it's Mr. Regan does not know exactly what it is, what slight moment in that joke he's telling that hits with you, but I'm presuming a seasoned man like himself will follow that, knowing what hits, knowing what that crowd likes, and is going to follow that. I don't. Audiences don't come to check your homework. They don't show up to read your report. They come to see a live performance, and live isn't just you up there reading off a piece of paper either. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to change gears in the middle. If it's not going well, we got to pick something else that we think. And absolutely. Stand-up comedy is Bill Cosby, and I know at one time he was the greatest stand-up comedian ever, and he's had, he's done terrible things. But he said stand-up comedy is like a jet plane. Every once in a while it goes down. You know, we all bomb still every once in a while. Danny more than me. But
Yeah, that's
much
true. I'm not gonna argue.
yeah, so what's the argument? The
Just
truth is the
slip it
truth.
in, yeah. But that's what's so great about seeing comedy live in a club versus watching it on TV in a special, because there's less of an element of danger when you watch the special. You know that this has got people have looked at it, it's been stamped for approval. When you go to the club, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's that element of like this could all go terribly wrong. Um, like going to the circus and watching the trapeze acts, there's a little part of your brain that's like, oh, they might fall, and that's exciting. But if it's already produced, they're not going to fall. It's
Yeah.
not.
I wrote
Yeah.
a joke the other day, and the setup got a laugh, and I was not expecting that. And then the punchline, thank God I had that. And the joke was, and I never do political stuff, and this really isn't a political joke, but I said I came home. I said it was a really tough day. I came home the other day, and ICE was at my house, and they took away my gardener and my wife. And I got this big laugh on wife, which I didn't expect. And I said, does anybody know where I can get a new gardener? And boom, huge laugh. But
Yeah.
I was very surprised that when I said they took away my wife too, that I got that.
Yeah.
Go-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
All in the delivery, I assume.
Yes.
And my wife.
Yeah.
a lot of it's in the delivery, but you better have the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
There was for some reason I refer to it as the great algorithm, that thing that exists that just sends us stuff on our social media feeds, on our hey, here's something to check out, here's something, some video on YouTube or something that you might like.
Yeah.
The great algorithm, for whatever reason, in its omnipotence and wisdom, was sending me lots of information about public speaking. I don't know what I clicked on, don't want to watch, but I thought I should know about public speaking. They had all these videos.
I think
Hey,
it
here's-
monitored I sent it your unedited audio, and it was like,
Mark,
no, man.
Mark, you're ruining my feed, dude. Don't ruin my algorithm. Too many ums and ahs. Anyway, I clicked on a few videos. Why are they sending me this? And it was a few people going through, hey, start with a joke, start with an improbable fact, or start and all these things. And what struck me was that while it was all, I guess, relatively sound advice, none of the advice was speak clearly. Try to engage with your audience as a human being. Show some vulnerability. Connect on a human level with them. And it was interesting. Is that the hard part? Is that really the hard part? That rapport? Is that what you can only learn by getting on stage and doing it, and doing it and doing it? You finally start building that rapport. And
Well,
I think
that's
that's
a great question. And I have one thing to say, and I'm sure you do.
Okay.
So there's something that you have to have that you can't learn. That is likability.
Yeah.
Just you can't force an audience to like you. You can't learn to be likable. It just can't. You either have that or you don't. When a comedian comes out, they have to immediately like you and trust you. Well, almost like a family member, like an uncle or an aunt, whatever it is, an aunt.
Yeah.
The rest of it can be learned. You can learn how to write funnier. You can learn how to, do it, better. You can learn timing, but you can't learn how to be likable.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. And then I feel like another thing on top of that is that the audience sometimes, for me, like I want the audience to be likable. There are certain times when I go out there and I don't like the audience right off the bat. Have you had that, Mark? Where you're like, ah, I got to pretend to like this audience.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That's called prejudging them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I try not to do it, but sometimes you see the way
Yeah.
they were for the comedians before you, and then it's your turn to go up there, and you're like, "Ugh, I already don't like this crowd. I don't like what they laughed at, and I don't like,
I mean, when you accept jobs from the Klan rally, Danny,
That's just it. He draws a lot of people that come out with Nazi uniforms. So immediately he doesn't like them, but then they don't like him. So it's a tough set.
I just say they need to keep their uniforms clean and pressed. That's the way it should be. And if
Yeah.
they're gonna sloppy and rain, that's not what the Fuhrer would have approved on. And
No.
So you
I-
look for the likable thing in them. I hate your ideology. I hate the way you're sneering at me, but I really do like that jacket. I mean,
I had a show in Chicago last week.
Okay.
The comic, it was me and another comic. He went on first.
Mhm.
And I just saw the way the audience was with him. I said, something in my brain was like, man, I love this audience. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get up there in front of this audience. And when I went up there, it was just a magical show because I already loved them and then they loved me. And it was one of the great, I was so in the moment with them. I felt like I was hanging out with my friends. It was terrific. I wish every show was like that. Maybe one day it will be for me,
Yeah.
but I just, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll watch an audience and I'll be like, oh, they should have laughed at that with the other comic, or I can't believe they laughed at that. That's where they're at. I
Yeah.
don't really don't like who I'm about to go perform for.
Well, that's true. I remember I did a show in Cleveland many years ago, and the opening act for me was a incredibly racist guy, unbelievably doing these black jokes, and the audience was laughing so hard and so loud, and I said, I hate this audience, laughing at this garbage.
Yeah.
This is the biggest bunch of racists I've ever, the whole audience, and I ended up getting fired that week.
I blame Cleveland. We blame Cleveland for a lot. Let's just dogpile on Cleveland.
I said to the owner of the club, I said, listen, I cannot work with this guy. He's a
Yeah.
racist. He uses the N-word on stage,
Yeah.
and the guy fired me. Absolutely true story. But in that particular case, I had to hate the audience.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
woke, Mark. You're just so woke.
Yeah.
You just don't
Yeah.
like. So I think what Bill was creeping around in the previous question was, have you guys had formal improv activities in your many years of doing comedy? I know we had Maddie Goldberg, thanks to Daniel's reference on the show before, sort of compared the improv comedy versus the stand-up comedy. But yeah, clearly improv is part of what you do as stand-ups. But like, has there been any make believe? I'm not Mark. I'm not Danny. I'm some other people, and we're making up a thing on the spot. That kind of thing, or is that? Yeah. What is
I've
your?
done that.
Yeah.
I used to, for many years, close my act. I would say when I had a piano player on stage at the clubs, a lot of the comedy clubs would have a piano player in New York, the Improv, Catch a Ride, they all had a piano player. So I would say to the audience, give me an opening line and a closing line, and I will, make up a blues song right in front of you right now.
Yeah.
I did. I would make it up, and many times it really, really went great. There was another guy that did that, J.J. Wall, and he used to improvise a blues song, and that was so much fun.
That's here now that we only have the Comedy Store where they still have a pianist in the main room, right? Or the
Yeah.
original. But yeah, that's I've done improv. Like I did Second City. I graduated their whole program. I did some shows there. I loved it. I was never part of an improv troupe, but I did house shows at some point, and
Certainly.
And
Yeah,
some of your
there's a-
videos that clearly are informed by that.
Yes.
what do
Well,
you
no,
mean?
there's something about the immediacy that's a whole different angle. When the audience understands that this is immediate, there is kind of a
With improvs,
with improvs. Yeah, I don't want to say card trick aspect to it, but they understand that it's and it's immediate and unrehearsed, and that is it's impressive in its own regard.
it's not true.
Okay.
Because what they'll do is they'll say to the audience, give us a type of theater, Shakespeare, somebody
Okay.
else, give us a job, hooker, and they've done it 3,000 times. You know exactly who's doing what, and there are some moments in there, of course, that will be different.
I will say some improvisers do that, but not all of them.
Just improvise right on the spot.
Yes. I would never put myself in a situation where, now again, boy, improv ain't what it used to be, and it's changed a lot. And just like there's many genres of music and many genres of things, and I'm sure, being in Chicago, if you did Second City out here, you're going to get exposed to a different flavor of that thing. And I
It's the
totally am.
best.
I know that
Robin,
improviser, Mark.
Robin
I know that
Williams,
improviser, but it ain't all of us.
Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters, two of the great improvisers of all time.
All right, so Bill, you're an improviser?
I am.
He's an improvised
Uh,
instructor.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, okay.
you teach improv.
But I work here in Chicago, mostly at the IO Theater. Certainly done stuff at the other theaters around here as well.
Wow.
But
Yeah, many
it's
times.
fun to do, and it's mostly long form kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's cool and it's fun, and I'm sure you at Second City got a taste of a little bit of the Chicago style, Chicago flavor.
Yeah, I loved being part of Second City. I actually just visited Second City, Chicago for the first time.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
This past week. And,
yeah.
because I'm an alumni, they let me put my name on the wall, which was pretty nice.
Hey, there we go. Very fun, very fun. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I love doing improv. I don't like watching it.
I've made that remark many times. I mean,
Yes.
the point of this this podcast in its inception was I'm trained in philosophy. He wanted to learn some, or at least he was willing.
Ostensibly.
I mean, I initiated it, but I wanted to get improv lessons without having to actually pay for them. So this is. We've been doing this for 4 years now.
Very good.
And you seemed surprised when I referred to your old videos, Daniel. I'm looking at some Sammy the Israel ones. Is that not like sort of a Pee Wee Herman sort of like I'm in a character and I'm going to improvise stuff? It's not,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I love doing it. I went to see a show at Second City in Chicago and it was terrific, but it was sketch.
Sure.
Sketch I like because sketch is like stand up. It's written, it's worked out, it's performed, more like acting, but the jokes are written. They're clever, smart, usually well-developed ideas that have been honed for the stage. So watching sketch to me is kind of akin to watching stand-up. But watching improv, it's just, like I don't want to watch somebody's writing
What was
stuff.
that show that Drew Carey had on TV for years?
Whose line is it anyway? Yeah, that's short form improv. It's more gimmicky. Some of these podcasts, what Bill has been trained in is this long form where you just
Or like
even though we're still doing 5-minute sketches,
Yes.
they're still not actually long form. Though you could, and there are many podcasts that do carry characters over, the entire podcast, but for years that we're
the Larry David show. Why can't I think of the name of that?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm uses a lot of long form, a lot of the Christopher Guest movies, Waiting for Guffman and whatnot, use a lot of that stuff as well. Now, certainly when you're making a movie or making a TV show, you've got to be quite judicious, roll a lot of tape, and do some things here or there. But this idea of playing a person, having behaviors, and having a character underneath all that stuff is more in that long form Chicago style domain.
It's funny because most stand-ups don't want to talk about improv. They don't want to think about improv. They can't.
No, correct. There has
you
been
are
a huge.
the brave. You are the brave and the exceptional because
Most
this has all
improv
been
people
working
don't
up
wanna
to.
talk about, they don't like stand-ups. I do. I think I'm one of the few people who like both, but
Some of the
Yes.
great stand-up comedians came out of Second City many
Yeah.
years ago. David Steinberg, Shelley
Shelley
Berman,
Berman.
why am I, a ton of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute- And then all of Saturday Night Live's first cast practically, right?
Right.
And the way you described your podcast as potentially a place to work out material, I mean, that's exactly how Danny was just describing improv. I don't want to see them work out their material. Well, then I don't want to listen to your podcast where you're working, I think it's a comparable thing where I do like your podcast. Let me be clear about that. But you stumble across something, you go in there without anything prepped, you bring in like a news story. You have some prompts. Right. But you're going to make the funny because you can. And at least, not that as a mere beginner improv, I don't know that I can. Maybe everything I do is in horrible taste, but I rely on Bill to tell me that it was okay because I'm very intimate about it.
And
so
there is
like
something fun to that. There is something fun to that. Yeah. there is something fun to making those discoveries and the audience hearing your process and enjoying your process. I think there's something interesting to that. And I bet your
But
fans
you know,
do
another thing, I'll give you another complaint I have about improv. It's
too.
not a great circuit for improv like there is for stand-up. I think it'd be wonderful if you could be an improviser and you could tour around and you could get on stage all over the country as an improviser, get booked and just jump into different stages and do stuff. It's not like that. You have to be part of a troupe. You have to be part of a thing.
Correct.
It's
That
all
does kind of kneecap it a little bit. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
and that's
Yeah,
a
wouldn't
real-
it just be the same comedy clubs that like the state or whatever the troupe is just ends up playing at the same places you'd be doing stand up? Is that not?
no.
No,
Never seen
no.
improv.
So-
Stand-up stages can be kind of
so-
small. You can only get 2 or 3 people on a club stand-up stage.
Yeah, but here,
Uh,
let me give you an example. So
Yeah.
Mark and I are stand-up comics. We could go play the Laugh Factory this week. We could play the Improv next week. We could go to Chicago and play Zanies. We could go all around, jump on different stages, perform with different comedians. They don't have that with improv.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And if I was to rewrite improv, which no one's asking me to, but if I would rewrite the way it goes, I would have it so that you could be an improv comic and you could go, from if you're a Groundlings person, you could go perform at Second City or vice versa, whatever it is, you get booked, put in your avails, and go and perform with whoever the other comics in town are and do a show and make
Yeah.
a living doing that. That's how it should be. But it isn't.
No.
Well,
No.
I think
And a
you're
lot of
about-
the yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
No, go.
A lot of improvisers end up getting careers as writers, actors, production. A lot of the other jobs is
Yes,
how
they
a lot
never
of the
figured out how to make it a career. It's the
Yeah.
improv itself.
uh,
That's my critique of it.
It's a stepping stone to something else. Stand up isn't necessarily that.
Right.
I mean, I've been doing it forever, and Jerry Seinfeld was lucky to get a TV show. Not that, I mean, he's incredibly talented, one of the best shows ever in history. But he didn't use it as a stepping stone. It just kind of happened and rolled out that way.
yeah.
And then he
Well-
went back to stand up, It wasn't like
Yeah.
he achieved his goal with television and that was it. He went back to doing stand up.
I did Chicago with him. We did that 5,000 seater. What's it called? The theater?
There are
South-
several. There are many. The Chicago Theater, the
No,
Athenaeum.
we did that one too, but
Okay.
there's a Fox in Chicago, isn't there?
I'm not sure. There's a few that have changed their names a few times.
It's
Cadillac.
5,000. No, hit
Okay.
me with 2 more. Can you think of 2 more names?
If you're cool with me Googling it,
Generate them like Chat GPT. Generate them, Bill, out of your
It
imagination.
doesn't matter,
but I
'cause
believe you. It was a 5,000 seat room. I got it. Yep.
The
just
funny
so-
flamingo.
And then
Okay.
we did right outside of Chicago. We went to Indiana. We drove
Sure.
there from Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like an hour.
Yeah, a lot of casinos right across the
We
border.
did a casino about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Horseshoe. Yeah.
So this has all been building up. We'd like to Bill can guide us as the instructor to run a scene right now with the 4 of us in it. That's
Yes.
part of our normal format. Do you consent to be part of this experience that we will try to incorporate some of the ideas that have come up in the conversation so far into not more than 5 minutes of us goofing around here.
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Do you have something, Mark? You want me to start
No.
this thing? How you feeling?
You go ahead, Bill.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to call this meeting. We got a big holiday thing to plan for the company holiday party. And I know a lot of people have some opinions, what we should have, what we shouldn't have. Last year, we had that offensive stand-up, and that, not going to lie, I nearly got canned for that, not going to lie.
Why'd you hire him?
I didn't know he was racist. I mean, maybe I should have done my due diligence. I don't know.
Well, I do appreciate you hiring my father.
He was your brother.
Father.
Father.
His dad.
He was you.
Look,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. He was your father? That racist comedian was your father?
Absolutely.
that's why I was pushing for him too. I wasn't big on the racism. I just wanted to see his old man get some work.
Uh, I almost got fired, y'all. You should have. Why didn't you warn me? What's going on?
I mean, when you hire somebody who's like 85 years old, they're probably going to be racist.
No,
And you know, I mean, he did wear the sheet. There should have been a sign.
Yeah. You guys were all about it when he showed up in this sheet. What was that about?
Yeah, I mean, you thought you thought it was a joke?
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a barber. I thought he was going to do some bunch of jokes about being a barber.
He takes it very seriously, his dad. You know, it's part of his social life.
Yeah, yeah. He's working in Vienna now.
Austria?
Yes, he is. And
Okay.
he's huge. I'm telling you, he sells out a lot of the roller rinks.
Okay. I just. This is news to me. This is news to. Are you cool? Are you cool with your dad being a racist stand-up? Is this?
I don't underplay the fact that you nearly got fired, but a lot of us at the company really enjoyed his dad. Aside from the racism, we thought he had a great persona, a great delivery, and sure, he was racist, anti-Semitic, and he said some vile things, but great facial expressions. He did a lot of mugging. He was, he was very animated up there. I thought that was good.
He was kind of
And
representing a type.
I got a letter from the vice president, Mr. Himmler, and
Mhm.
he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you got almost fired, Bill. It seems like the management was behind this.
And the other thing that was good about it was that they had those whitefish sandwiches. Everybody enjoyed that because it was,
Beautiful.
they
Well, we
said
can do that again this year. That's fine. We can do that. We can do the same catering again. I think there was no complaints with the catering. I think it was the entertainment.
whitefish supremacy they had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Whitefish Supreme.
Whitefish supreme. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. We can, y'all. We can keep the caterer,
Yeah.
but I
maybe
just want to
not
open.
that not that label specifically.
So we want to just mention a young
Uh-huh.
comedian for this year's show.
Okay.
We think is really good.
All right. Are they a family relation?
No,
No.
not related.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's sounding better.
My wife has gone away with him for weekends, but he's not related.
No. They're very close. They are in a book club together.
Yeah. And he spent about, what is it, 10 years with the Zulu.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can't be racist if you spend 10 years with the Zulu tribe, man. Right? That's
Yeah.
Well, that's no, but I let's speak it. Well, you want to send me his information. What is he? Is he you said he's a stand-up? Does he do?
He doesn't really stand up. He has one leg, so he kind of just falls over a lot.
And doesn't your wife have a kid with him?
Yeah, they do. Muhu.
Yeah, Muhu. He's a Julu. He's half Zulu and half Jewish.
Yeah, Muhu.
Yeah,
Muhu Julu.
Muhu Julu.
Huh.
Nice
Okay.
Very nice kid.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
father,
well.
my father actually works with him. He's trying to put kids trying to put him
Okay,
sta-
y'all. I'm not. This isn't about favors. We're not. This isn't about giving. This is about providing a quality entertainment for our fellow employees.
Well, he's
I would
great
love
with
some.
companies, Zulu is a tribe, which is kind of like a company, and he did good with tribes. If you do good with tribes, it stands to reason you could do good with companies, right?
I'm familiar, yes, with the Zulu people of.
So,
Yeah, Mr. Davis, I'm Googling this guy, and I
Okay.
think there's some problematic stuff that you might want to look out for. It's not just the standing up, it's the being pushed around by the audience as if he were some sort of ping pong something, and this is not a very coherent review. It sounds very physical. Are you okay with physical comedy?
In principle, but y'all, can we just not hey, I bet you've been to a show. Maybe we can call Second City. Maybe we can call one of the theaters here in town, and maybe they can recommend some. Maybe they can recommend somebody rather than a
Well, how about
family.
a different route with it this year? We could do a mentalist.
They're okay, a mental. I think that'd be fun. We'll just leave the whole stand-up thing. How can you be a racist mentalist? I don't know. Maybe this is
I have a guy who I think would do good for it. He's
okay.
mental,
yeah,
and,
yeah, he is mental.
Like card tricks and like
Not
predicting.
exactly. It comes from a mental home. I guess which is a home of mentalists.
But you can be, I mean, like for instance, let's say I was a mentalist and I go, you're Jewish. I
Uh-huh.
can tell you're circumcised.
Okay. That's right on the line. That's right on the line. I'm going to say it right now. Do you
It's
know
just-
what a mentalist is? 'Cause it sounds like you may be confusing
Somebody
it.
who's completely mental, he's out of his mind.
Every wife is a mentalist.
Yeah.
My wife knows exactly what I'm thinking, when I'm thinking it, and before I think it.
We're not
That's-
hiring your wife. We're not
Makes
hiring your wife for
perfect-
entertainment.
Well, if you just a point about his wife, she does a fantastic lentil soup. She could be a good lentilist too.
Well, she also calls it mental soup.
Lentilist.
She's a lentilist.
Yeah.
Well, are we scrapping the whitefish sandwiches or are we keeping the whitefish?
I mean, it depends what if you're going to have a mentalist, then they're going to be able to read everybody's thoughts, and so you're going to have the whitefish supreme, and you're going to be able to see each person that sees that sign that says it's the way. You're going to be able to see their racist thoughts. So this is the problem. Even if the mentalist is not him or herself racist, they know the racism and they know the dark heart of man. Is what I'm saying. Do you
I think you're
risk-
reading too much into a mentalist. I think it's an act. It's an
Doesn't
act.
your wife also work at a dental clinic? Isn't she a dentalist?
She's a dentalist, mentalist.
That's right.
Hygienist. It's called a hygienist, not a
Dentalist.
dentalist.
She's very gentle, but she's a hygientalist.
And when she gets mad, she's a great ventilist, isn't she?
Yeah, she can vent like crazy.
Okay, just to clarify, mentalists aren't people who are insane or struggle with mental illness. Mentalists are people
You may be
who
wrong about that. I don't want to.
I've met mentalists, they struggle with mental issues.
Oh, yes.
Because they don't look at themselves. They're always looking at other people, what they're thinking.
That's
Well,
right.
how about a magician? Well, we hire a magician. Let's just leave that whole word to the side and find a magician. Fingers crossed, y'all don't know any magicians.
I worked with a magician recently.
Okay.
He was so bad, he made the audience disappear.
I hope that was a joke. I really do hope that was a
But they were
joke.
out of there in about 2 minutes. This guy was so bad.
Why we're not going to hire him? We're not going to. Y'all, this has been a long meeting. We need somebody for this thing.
Can we get a real magician, like who knows who can see the other
Yeah.
side and
I tell you, if someone would like to volunteer to call the Magic Club, right, the Magic Castle up on
I'm gonna call them.
Western and Bryn Mawr, it's fantastic.
Those
I've
guys
been there
are a
on
bunch
date
of
night.
frauds. They're not actually in touch with the forces beyond. I mean, I'm talking about like a real Cthulhu kind of magician who can summon
A wizard. You want a
Yes.
wizard.
Yes.
Boss, you're always telling me to think outside the box, right? I'm going to throw out a wild idea, and I think you're going to love it. I say we scrap the entertainment altogether. We get rid of mentalists, magicians, and we just get someone who comes in with a pressure cuff and goes around and takes everybody's blood pressure, because that's something we should know, and it would be nice.
Yeah. And then we'll put my father on and take the blood pressure again
That's right.
and see if it's gone up at all.
And see,
So
maybe
you want
So-
a science holiday party. That's what I mean. Science for a
a
holiday party.
physicalist instead of a mentalist.
It's called a physician. Y'all, there's some naming. We need to get a spreadsheet together, I fear.
I think
How things are.
physician you need to get a certain amount of training. A physicalist, little less.
Well,
All right, how about this, y'all? How about this?
Let us just end this with the thing. Danny and I feel that
Okay.
we deserve a raise.
yeah.
I mean,
Now.
I've been working for the company for 3 weeks now. I think I've done a hell of a job. Danny,
He got his dad involved.
how
And,
long you been with the company?
I'm on and off. I come in every now and then when my schedule allows for it.
So I think
There's
40%.
And then I'm an ideas man. You guys always say, "What do you do at the company?" And I've told you this, and I want to make it clear to everyone in this boardroom. I am an ideas man. I come in with ideas, like the blood pressure cuff, and I give you ideas. And I think ideas are the seeds upon which all businesses thrive.
It's the blood of a good company,
That's correct.
good ideas.
That's right. And so there you have it. I think I might be the most valuable guy in the company. And if being perfectly honest, I think you should step down and give me your job.
And I think you should step down and give me your job.
You think now is the best time to have that conversation? That's what we're thinking.
Well, we're all here.
Now is when we should have this.
But I'll tell you what, if you give me your job, I'll hire you to work for me so you still have a job.
And if you give me your job, I'll hire you to work as an assistant to my assistant.
That's good. You'll both be gainfully employed, and you know your employers are good people because you already have experience with us.
And every day you come to work, there will be lentil soup.
That's right. And all the pressure that you're feeling right now to put together a good company meeting and you might get fired, that's all off you.
It's
You don't
all
have
off.
to
The
worry
pressure's
anymore.
off. Pressure's off. You've got a new lease on life. We're offering you an opportunity of a lifetime. Take it.
Take it now or it's off the table.
Well, I think the first thing we're going to do is not have a holiday party and just give everybody a $50 gift card. I think that would be best. I think that would just get everyone in the company.
I'll take
This is
it.
the money we would have spent on a holiday party. Go out and have a date night, you know.
We'll take the
I'll
50
take the $50
and
too.
forget about everything we just said about promotions.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. Thank you.
All right.
Is this the
Meeting,
plan? Okay.
meeting
Yeah.
adjourned.
Things out there.
All right, I think there's something.
Yay, well done,
Funny
everybody.
stuff in there.
Yeah.
With a better teacher, I think we could have really scored. We might have had a career. You did great, you guys. You really did great. I can see why you don't work.
I feel like you guys have some pre-existing chemistry that you were leveraging there. I think there's.
No one said we couldn't.
I guess that's part of being in a room together is also and being in a room together for a long time. Bill and I have been in a room together once in the last 4 years. We had one meal together. We were on the stage for one show in Chicago, and otherwise it has been this thing where I can't even smell him.
I think it's part of it is being surrounded by some of the worst comedy of all time. There's a magic in the air.
Yeah, there is
It's a
something.
very low bar.
We met in a room. We met in the bathroom at Yankee Stadium. We shared a urinal, and I said, "I want to work with this guy."
Yeah, because I'm very conservative. You know, I'm a conservationist. I didn't want to waste water using an entire other urinal. So I said, "Hey, let's just save the environment, pee together."
You ever see those waterless urinals that says,
Yeah.
"Where does it go?"
You know something? Those waterless urinals really make you question all the ones with the water. Do we need
Yeah,
the
do we
water?
really need it?
I don't know.
Is it like a vacuum that you just put your dick in there and it just kind
Never
of?
stick around long enough to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm out of there.
There's nothing that cleans it. There's just that's it. It's like peeing on a wall.
If you want to do something that really, if you ever go into men's room, there's like 6 urinals, there's one guy standing at one. Just stand right behind him, even though there are 5 other open ones.
Right.
And they get very upset and very worried. Like, why are you standing there when you're, and just come up with something like, "This is my favorite urinal you're using. I use when I'm here." And they run out of there so fast, these people. That's,
I mean, it probably is. You've got a captive audience, so anything you want to say, if you want to try out some new
Yes.
jokes, if you want to have, your urinal humor. What about those troughs they used to have? Why don't they have those troughs? I want
Yeah.
to see the splash of everybody
By the way,
in the
the
row.
closest I've ever come to big success in my career was at a urinal. I was at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I went to the urinal and standing right next to me at the urinal next to me, Lorne Michaels. And that was the closest I ever came to success because all I would have had
Okay.
was strike a conversation, get on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But I
So,
the
how's your
joke
piss, huh?
about these 2 guys are standing next to each other, at a urinal. And one guy says, they don't know each other. One guy says to the other guy, "I think we had the same moil." And the other guy goes, "What makes you think that?" He goes, "Because you're peeing on my foot." You see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
I
little
was thinking-
sidewinder in there. Yes.
I just turned because there was no divider between the urinals when I peed next to Lorne Michaels. If I would have just turned and shook his hand but continued peeing, I would have hit him, but it would have left an impression, better
would have
than
been the
thinking,
biggest.
"Oh,
Biggest.
the biggest. He
Yeah,
would
yeah,
go,
yeah.
It's funny. He peed on
No
me."
such thing as bad press.
There you
No
go.
such thing as bad press. He will remember you, the guy
You
who
think
pissed on him.
Tourette's?
I guarantee that. I guarantee he ain't gonna forget that.
Now, that's an interesting thing. And I've thought about that. Do you think that Diddy agrees with that philosophy now. There's no such thing as bad press.
It's being tested. Uh, well, it's that whole thing, I mean, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, come on now, you guys have been around the entertainment world enough to know you don't want to fall off the radar. You got to
But
work
things
enough.
happen to people that you don't want people to, like Bill Cosby, you
That's
know?
bad press.
That's bad press, and there's
Yes,
such thing as bad press, and
yes.
Harvey
Uh,
Weinstein, bad
Harvey
press.
Weinstein, bad press.
Bad
Bad
press.
press.
Well, I mean, it's hard. We can't just reach for the absolute worst example and say, "See, I told you bad press. There's such thing as bad press." All right, well,
Arnold Schwarzenegger, not saying not the absolute worst, but he had a baby with his cleaning lady.
mm-hmm.
Bad press.
Not good press. At Jeffrey Epstein, very bad
Bad press.
Very bad.
Well, yes, yes, the worst press. I would say it's hard to get worse than that. But
Yeah.
in seriousness, though, I'm sure you guys probably, you agents and managers, you got to stay on the radar. You have to, it's like have them be thinking about you. And if they stop thinking, we had a bunch of
off the radar for 20 years. I've managed to stay completely off the radar. Anywhere near the radar, I'd run.
Right, but what just happened with Iran and Israel? Now Iran had no more radar, so it was a good thing.
Yeah, no radar, no.
They were
nuclear
off the
bomb.
radar.
Yeah,
Look how nice.
fantastic.
yes.
It's all debatable. On the radar, off the radar, good press, bad press.
Can
It's
you be on the radar but off the grid?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think so. I think the grid and the radar.
I mean, if they're
are
looking
connected.
for you,
Well,
if you're
Brandon.
looking for somebody, they're on your radar. So I would think most of the most wanted criminals are on the radar, but yet off the grid. Otherwise, they would be caught.
There we go. There we go.
Off the radar, off the grid, and on the path.
On the path.
On the path.
You can only hope that the greatest criminals are on the path to some sort of redemption, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, they may be on the path. Are they walking down it? Are they walking backwards?
When that
No,
when
no.
that's when that Saddam
On
was
the
off the
path.
radar in his gully,
Yeah.
I don't think he was on the path to enlightenment. There, at least it didn't show. It would have been very surprising if when he was finally pulled out of the pit,
Yeah.
that he was like,
On
"Oh,
the
I'm a
path.
Buddhist now."
Sorry, but if you're on the path and you don't like what's happening, can you walk it back?
Exactly.
Mm.
Or just I'm on the path, but I'm actually just pissing on a tree right now. I'll
Take
get
a
back
deep
on the
breath
path
off the path.
in a
Short-
moment. I stepped off that briefly to relieve myself. Yeah.
See, I didn't know we would have an explicitly philosophical topic here, and here we are. We've stumbled into it, which is your
By the way,
progress.
we just did an improv. That was an improv.
That-
Right
Yes.
or wrong?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
We
yes.
found a word, a sentence, and then we all mishmashed together and threw in a little very funny stuff.
I think
Yes.
what we've done here is we've developed one of the world's newest improv troops.
I
here,
think
right?
you and I should go into improv now. I couldn't stand
Yeah,
up. You
that's
guys have
fun.
convinced us we're in the wrong business.
You ever do any shows together, like on stage at the same, a two-man act?
Not on this. Well, we did one time. Yeah,
We worked Vegas together, and the guy who booked us is dead.
yeah. That's
Ugh.
according to anyone who wants to book
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That
that
should be dead within a year. That's
Yeah.
how bad the show was.
Yeah.
He got a disease from watching us.
Thanks God. Luckily, we got paid first, but that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
that's a whole radar you can't even get on anymore.
Does a
So-
dentist ever say it's like pulling teeth?
You mean the thing that I do every day? Washing dishes, it's like pulling teeth. What,
Yeah, pulling teeth for them is easy. They got all the tools, and
right.
maybe they would use it in a completely different context, like something that's super easy. It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's the path? The path has taken you to bring you together, to be doing this thing, to doing the philosophical idea I had to come in here with, I'll just throw out, was reminiscence, because that seems to be what takes up at least the episodes that I listen to of your podcast, because of course I gravitated to the famous people. And so they're all people that Mark has known, at least, and some that Danny's known, but for years and years and years. And so it's a lot of like, you remember in 1981 when we were doing this thing, just sort of what the, yeah. So is the path just now that more time than you spent on stage, you spent talking to Danny, reminiscing about the path? Is that the path? Is that the shape of the path?
Well, we have an idea for an episode where we're going to bring my wife in. Been married 35 years, and I'm going to tell her I've been cheating on her for most of the time. And we're going to see how that goes. That could be a good episode.
That's not a bad idea.
And then when she says, I don't believe you, I'm going to bring in 2 women that I've been cheating with.
You know what we might want to do is put foam on the walls for that one.
Why women? Why don't you could just call her in right now and we can be the 2 women. We could run this as the second improv scene.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, I can see
Improv for us, not for her.
Calling
Yeah.
your bluff.
you know, we have our guests, and we have a very easygoing podcast. People seem to like us together, and they come back to hear more of us.
I guess yeah. I mean, it's we're not we don't have an agenda when we get on the air. You know, we just want to be funny. That's our only
We're not
agenda.
Sacco and Vanzetti.
I feel like Danny, you have a little bit of an agenda that there'll be some nice reminiscing, and then you'll jump in of like, do you still believe in God? You'll get right to a few central philosophical questions.
We do try to, in a very light way, you know, express our belief in.
Yeah, we try to understand like where people are at in the universe. You know, like
Sure.
there is some philosophy to it. I mean, maybe from all the years of doing modern day philosophers, it's kind of in my system. But you know,
Would you say most of the people who ask that question to are atheists?
well, a lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of comedians are atheists because I don't know. It's just a solitary kind of thing, and I think
It can be a lonely life. It can be a lonely life, and it can be very isolating. And
religion is a very communal thing, and stand up is a very solitary thing. So I
Yeah.
think more improv people that I met were God believers, and more stand-ups were atheists. Because in improv you have to rely on others. It's not all in your hands, and you know there has to be more of an element of faith for things to go well. And with stand-up, everybody thinks I got this, you know. So that's a very atheist kind of.
you can hone it, you can sharpen it, you can rehearse it, and it'll be perfect. And I don't need anybody help. And this is it. And yeah.
There's no such thing as perfect in stand-up comedy. It just doesn't exist. There's really great nights. We have some very special, really nice, great nights, and then other nights that are good. And others, generally you get to a point as a stand-up comic where you're the only one that knows you didn't hit your stride.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and we know, and we always know we have work to do.
Totally.
It's a very ethereal thing too, you know, like it's like for years we've been making something, but we've got nothing to show you what we made, you know. You're there, you see it, but then you can't take it home with you. You know,
Yeah.
it's there. It's there and it's gone. Like I said, even if you have a recording of it, it's the magic of that moment is gone. The danger of that moment is gone.
It just
You know.
comes
Oh
here.
yeah.
You know, the great thing about stand-up, we don't need anything. We just need we need a stool and a bottle of water and a microphone. That's it. I could go through, and so could Danny, through the door right behind us. There could be 6,000 people there, and we can just start doing it 1 minute from now.
And by the way, we've both done shows where we don't have a stool, a bottle of water, or a microphone.
You
I
have to
bet.
crap out your own stool right there on the stage.
Kelly Berman used to take his
Gross.
stool on the road with him.
Gross.
Was it a custom height so he could be extra high and like swing his legs around? Or, some other something that
man,
he could
he went
spin.
Stool. You know.
I can understand that people have good luck pieces.
Yeah. And there's always people with crazy writers and things on their contracts or want certain things, and
I bring my
Uh,
fortune with me.
sure a lot of that's superstition and whatnot. And
Necklace.
yeah.
I mean, to pursue the metaphor a little more, it seems like improv might be a specifically Catholic thing in that the Holy Ghost. You gotta have the energy on the stage. You gotta have the tangible thing passing. But
Yeah, the Father, the
that's
Son, and
within
the
you.
Holy, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You got a troop.
There you go.
There we go. The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, you got
Uh,
you got an improv group right there. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
I'm gonna tell you another thing that bums me out about improv. You don't have like, you know, you have bands like that make it big, like the Beatles. Is a great example of like
Yeah.
the most famous, right? But you never have an improv troupe that makes it big.
Not really. No.
I mean, Kevin Allison of the State, one of our previous guests, I think would beg to differ.
There have been
You know,
some,
they're not a
yeah.
they're a sketch group. That's not improv.
But again, perhaps making it big is not. What if that's not the
This
path
day
to
was a
happiness?
TV show, I guess, making it big in that way would be but I mean like as a
UCB, yes, the
touring
UCB TV show. Yeah, there you go.
abroad,
Yeah, they had a TV show. Yeah,
We're making it big is really is if you can earn a living doing what you love doing,
there we go.
you've made it big. Really, that's
Everything else is gravy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that have made hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's fantastic. But if you ask them, it's the fact that they could keep working is a big deal. That's why Jerry went back to it.
Yeah.
A lot of money, but then the older I get, the more I'm just grateful that I've been able to work at something I enjoy.
Yeah, 1000%.
Well, that
1000%.
sounds like the path. That sounds like you've been on the path. The path does
Mhm.
not go anywhere. The path is about the journey of the path.
That's right.
Although I'm sure I'm sure you're glad you're not working under the stand-up conditions that you were working in when you were 25.
They were kind of well, they were exactly what I needed at that time to get good. I mean, really, there is no in stand-up comedy, and I still work those clubs, and so does Danny. You know,
Yeah.
we go to these little clubs to work out and practice, and it could be 8 people, 12 people. I'm going to go do something soon in a couple of weeks for this lady. Might be 20 people there, 18 people, and if you know, doesn't matter. You know, when I first started, sometimes I get on so late to be 2 people left in the room. And just
That's what I was. Yes, as an aging musician, like I just can't play a 1 a.m. gig, you know, with a string of 4 bands at some
all the great
bar
comedians.
on a
Don
Wednesday.
Don Rickles used to do a 2 and a 5 a.m. show in a lounge to just drunks. Look how good he got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember starting out, I'd often, they put you on last, and I'd often watch like what would be a hot room turn into an empty room of all empty beer bottles and 2 drunk people from Staten Island in the back, and you're like, okay, I'll take it, stage time.
By the way, you know how I knew I had a funny routine when there was only 2 people in the audience? I'll tell you, when the waiter or waitress is cleaning up
Oh yeah.
and you do a routine and you hear them laugh,
Yes.
know you're onto something because they've heard 600 hours of comedy material in the last 3 weeks. And if you can get them to, you go, I may have something here.
To say, yeah, at an improv club, when you make the bartenders laugh, that's always
Yeah,
a
that's
good,
it, because they've been
great
through
sign.
it all. It's a big deal.
great sign, fantastic sign. Yeah, yeah,
It's like when you walk into the barber.
yeah.
Not a laughs.
and they snicker. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, wait a minute, shouldn't I be the one wearing the apron?
Yeah.
Walk into a racist
And-
barbershop. Yeah.
And Bill demands like haircuts based on amount of hair. Like I want a discount. That guy paid $15. I should
Yeah.
definitely only pay $7.
Yes. We're paying by follicle.
That seems
Yeah.
fair.
0.01 cent per strand.
You guys still sit on that little plank that they put the kids on when you go in the chair? Remember that little thing that
I'm plenty tall. I'm plenty tall.
remember that little plank that they used to
Little
Well,
box,
it
yeah.
probably is because the microphone looks huge in that image.
Yeah.
He could be an Oompa Loompa for all we know. He
Yeah.
could be a tiny.
It's just it's I can put it down there. Fine, we're fine.
Bring it
Fine.
back. Bring it back, Bill.
Right.
I need to hear
Yeah.
you better.
No shame. No
There you
shame.
go. Oh,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
scared me for a second there. Well, we've kind of reached our hour. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, how do you get rid of syphilis?
I mean, you just kind of explain to it that it's not welcome in these parts. You know, you gotta lay down the law. You gotta really try to understand where the syphilis is coming from. Maybe pass it on to a few people. So it's like The Ring. As long as you pass it on before you cure it, then it won't get
That's
mad.
a great opening line at a party. You meet somebody for the first time. How are you? how do you get rid of syphilis? Do you have any idea?
Right.
And then you either made a friend for life, or they're out of there really quick.
Cut the small talk. Get right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say penicillin. I'm just going to write out for any listeners out there for whom they are suffering from venereal disease. I'm going to say penicillin.
And there's somebody else who says, "Hey, I have it too. Let's get together."
Yeah, you can't give it to me. I can't give it to you. I think we have an evening here.
All right. Well, you guys have come up with a name for this episode: Syphilis, with Mark Schiff and Daniel Lobell from.
So yeah, I'll tell people check out our YouTube channel. We've been really building up the YouTube channel for We Think It's Funny, and if everybody can go and subscribe, that would get us another 10 people, and we'd really appreciate it. And
It could be 9. Let's cross our fingers for 10. Let's just
how long have you guys been doing this show now?
Coming on,
fine.
We're in finishing up the 4th year.
Yeah, that's good. You still love
Almost
it?
graduated.
You're very good at what you do. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, this is one
Work
of
with the best. And you guys are.
Well, it's a real honor to talk to both of you. And,
Yeah, super fun, y'all. Super fun.
It's been a great hang. Next time I'll be back in Chicago, September. So
Okay. I'll be here.
we're gonna have a bite or something.
I'm only 2 hours north of there. Maybe I can come down and say hello.
You were intentionally not invited, Mark, but thank you. for
That
calling.
place in Chicago that I played 5,000 people starts with a B. Starts with a B.
Beckett City.
No.
Belly Dance Palace.
Starts with a-
Uh,
I'll let you know. I'll
Buddha's
figure
Delight.
it out.
Barnyard
I wonder if
Franklin.
Rodney Dangerfield had a name Bitchley. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, they thought, oh, Bitchley. Just,
was it downtown?
No. This was out a little bit. Maybe.
Broadway Playhouse, Briar Street Theater,
No.
Music Box,
No.
Broadway Playhouse.
No.
Mark, come out when I'm in Chicago. We'll get together.
All right, man. Good to see you guys.
But thank you very much. Great
Certainly.
opportunity.
Good fun, y'all. Good fun. Take care of yourselves.
You two be well. Drive fast.
Thanks so much for having us. It was a good
Indeed,
hang.
indeed.
So long.
I should sell my soul. Bankrupt. Bankrupt.